Welcome to Punchline Africa from the Political Command Center of Punchline Africa in London. Good evening. Viewers, thank you very much. This is Punchline Africa Television, and it's a television for the Africans, with Africa by Africa. We want to bring you this show, Diplomatic Leaks, part 2 of our phase 2 of our ICJ. We promised you that for the entire week, starting from yesterday up to 25th, we shall be conducting a very in-depth analysis of the issues that are in International Court of Justice of the maritime border dispute between Kenya and Somalia. Viewers, thank you very much for joining in. If you want to join in, look at our poster, and you can go to the numbers and you punch in and join us. Let's have a talk. Let's chat. Let's see, is it possible? Should Kenya take itself to a court that has already determined, or the situation was predetermined? The situation went wrong long time ago. Should it go and attend? This is the question today. Yesterday we looked at what the unfairness, how the court has treated Kenya. Most of the applications, right from Professor Gifu Mugai and others, were thrown out. Is this not a predetermined case? Is it worth it? Is there another way we can solve this conflict or maritime border dispute? With me on the panel is Daniel Sean Wesonga. Good evening.
Very good evening, Dr. Matsanga David in the UK. Very good evening to our viewers here in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world.
Thank you very much. Across in Isiolo is none other than my comrade, a man who has studied international relations himself, Musa Abdi Haji Dido. Good evening.
Good evening, Daktari. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and I'm glad to be contributing with you in this show. And also to our viewers, thank you so much for having us, and we are really welcome.
Thank you very much. You are welcome to the show. In the left-hand corner is none other than Gerard Guchu. I don't know whether you are on the microphone. Can you switch it on? Gerard Guchu.
Yes, I'm there, Doctor.
Yes, thank you very much. Tested the microphone from the central, from Kikuyu land. Where is Kikuyu constituency? Can I call it?
Yes, from Kiambu County.
In Kiambu County, in Nairobi, yes. In Kenya, Republic of Kenya. Yes. Good evening, my brother. He's an man, worked as a producer, cameraman, senior anchor. Also, he has been in all these areas in Europe. Welcome to the show. You will give us your journalistic approach on this matter of the ICJ, International Court of Justice. Should Kenya go or not go? Should Kenya go and surrender itself?
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Without opposing. Thank you very much. Across, we wait for more people to join in, but if the train has left the station now, we can catch it in the next station. Thank you very much. The International Court of Justice will commence hearing about the Kenyan cases, Kenya-Somalia Maritime Border Dispute, on Monday, 15th March 2021. In a statement issued on Tuesday, ICJ said the public hearings will be conducted between Monday, March 15th to Wednesday, March 24th. The hearing will be conducted between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. of East African Standard Time. Those who want to tune in and see what is taking place can as well now tell me, say that is exactly. I hope now you are hearing me properly now. Okay. The hearings will take place between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. East African Standard Time. And the broadcast will be on the ICJ website. And I want to say, should Kenya be involved? Should they not go on the floor and make objection through the court? Are we prepared? Are witnesses being allowed? Have we carried with the travel bans that we have all over the whole world? Quarantine. When you land in another country, you take 10 days. Have we done enough preparation? Should Kenya engage itself in this thing here? Should it engage itself in the thing which you know very well we are already at a loss? Why should we not have our witnesses? Where are they going to be? Well, witnesses must be in the court. All the clan, all the leaders in Lamu who wanted to go were denied visas because you have to go under quarantine for 10 days in the Netherlands. So, should Kenya be part of this case? Yes or no? Give your answers, give your contacts, contact us, call us, join us on this show. In view of the current COVID-19 situation pandemic, the hearings will be held in what they call a hybrid format. How many people in Kenya have telephones, have Zoom? How many millions? We want to hear the case. We want to know that our people have represented us. Our witnesses have gone there. This has not been allowed. Some of the members of the court will attend orally and proceedings in person in the Great Hall of Justice, while others will participate remotely by video link. Representatives of parties will be participating in person or by video link. This is what I oppose. You cannot solve international justice through video links. What about if the video links are not heard? What about if the video links cannot be, someone can intercept them and make them look differently? How sure are we that where we are, the internet will work throughout? It is wrong. Kenya should have protested this date and refused. If the court does not want to extend, Kenya should have refused, rejected, and allowed enough preparations for its witnesses to go through the COVID-19 pandemic regulations in The Hague before continuing with this case. The case was filed on August 28th, 2014 by Somalia. There is a principle that before you go to ICJ, you must first talk. It is a doctrine of the International Court of Justice. It is written in the Constitution. You must be able, I think it's Article 40 or something of that nature, you must be able to agree first. Did Kenya agree to be dragged in that court? We shall look at that and see why Kenya at this moment is even helpless. They were dragged in the court. They accepted to go in the court. They should have rejected, because this is by not a criminal court. It is by consensus. It's by compromise. We say, okay, fine. If you want us to go that way, but we would prefer arbitration. What went wrong? These are the things I want the panel not to be shy about. We want to see where the problem is, because we want to help President Uhuru Kenyatta and the administration. Did we err at the beginning? There was a Somali judge. Nobody made an application. Nobody applied for the Somali judge until they went through with the Somali judge, until I came out and I applied for that man and he went out. Nobody protested. Who lied, who, and where? And these are some of the things we want the Kenyan government to take note and rectify. That these type of things are the ones that create us problems in international tribunals. Somalia argued that diplomatic negotiations had failed. Did Somalia negotiate enough with Kenya? I want the panel to tell me. That was the judge that I struggled so much to remove. My records are very clear, and he's not there anymore. But he left a case already arranged, already done. I have filed those applications. I've done my best. I have no regrets for what I have done. Then coming in, Tina Wambui joining from, connecting by audio. Thank you very much, Tina Wambui. Tina Wambui, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Joining in, thank you very much. So when you look at the situation, Kenya was dragged in a court with a Somali judge on top, presiding over the court. Nobody complained. Did the Kenyans know or they didn't know? I want to know. Did the Attorney General, former Attorney General, know that there was a Somali judge? If he knew, is there an application that he made? Those are the things that I want my panel to interrogate. But bearing in mind, Somalia is the one that dragged this case to court. Somalia refused the negotiations. Somalia broke all the rules of OAU, Organization of African and African Union resolutions of constitutive assembly, constitutive solving resolution of conflict. You don't go outside, don't talk about the boundaries. Somalia rejected all this. Is there need for Kenya to be defiant? Somalia requested the court to determine on the basis of international law the complete course of the single maritime boundary, dividing all the maritime areas appertaining to Somalia and to Kenya in the Indian Ocean, including the continental shelf beyond 200 nautical miles. This is disgusting. All these things have been happening against the Republic of Kenya in the view of other people who did not come in to help the Republic of Kenya. Now we have reached a situation where we are going to a court where you have international men interested in oil, international agencies, countries, Norway, Turkey, France, United States of America are interested in the oil. They want to get this oil cheaply if they can favor Somalia, because Somalia is not a very good organized country at the moment. My panel, you have heard what I have said. You have heard exactly what the situation is. You have heard that that is what happened. Does Kenya go to the ICJ? I begin with Daniel Wesonga. You are number one here on the show. Hit your points, punch. We don't have much time. We have 22 minutes past 8. We want to finish around 9:15. Punch it.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga David, for another opportunity like this. Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity, Dr. Masanga. Yesterday we had a very, very vibrant debate.
Just a minute. I want to welcome Ambassador Ghana Maina, all the way from Paris. My brother, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Masanga. Thank you for having me. And congratulations to Punchline Africa.
Now we've come back again bouncing, and we are going to bounce on you. And you need to be part of this African vision. Thank you very much, Ambassador Ghana Maina from Chad. He is based in Paris. Thank you. Wesonga, proceed.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga. And as I was saying, yesterday we had a very, very vibrant debate here on Punchline Africa TV. And the key points, the key takeaways that came out clearly is that Kenya is paying some individuals who are sleeping on the job. For all this while we've been having this stalemate between Kenya and Somalia due to the maritime border, we have been having a situation where Somalia has been calling the shots. Somalia has been playing Kenya like a violin, and we've been dancing to that tune. You've been seeing, Dr. Masanga, the way Somalis have been responding with letters on whatever is happening in regards to that row in the Indian Ocean. But on the Kenyan side, up to today, Dr. Masanga, I have to admit that I'm really, really surprised that no official in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has come out to discuss this matter. No one has shown concern actually that the oil blocks in the Indian Oceans are being auctioned by the federal state of Somalia. And therefore, that tells you the reckless abandonment this matter has been treated to. Today, Dr. Masanga, if I take you back in history, we had a similar issue, the issue of ICC. And soon after the cases in The Hague on President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the Deputy President William Ruto and the other co-accused collapsed, we had a resolution as a country that we wanted to move out of The Hague. We wanted to chart our way so that at no particular point in time, we shall have a Kenyan being taken in a foreign land to be charged there. But what has happened since after that? No one is ever talking about it. No one is telling us that we need to move out of ICC. I believe until now we are hit with another state of despair like we had in 2007, 2009, is when we shall have again people talking about this. But as at now, I can say, Dr. Masanga, that Kenya, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the key stakeholders who should be talking about this, are deep in slumber and they need to wake up. I can tell you, Dr. Masanga, for a fact again, that there's no even a local media station which is talking about this issue. There's no one who is telling Kenyans that, look, your oil blocks in the Indian Oceans are being stolen by the Somali government. And these are very, very important natural resources to our country, to our economy, but no one is talking about them. So that shows you that there's neglect. No one is actually giving it attention. And if we proceed this way, Somalis are very much ahead of us in terms of strategizing on how to execute this. Yesterday, Douglas said that, Kenya as a country, we are fighting with one arm tied behind our backs, and therefore we do not have any advantages when it comes to this case. When you look at it in terms of technicalities, it cannot happen holding a case via internet. Internet has always had its own disparities. You saw the other day when the ICC itself was conducting interviews for the prosecutor. We had an interview with a Ugandan lady who was very, very much qualified, but because the internet could not sustain that meeting, things went deep south. He could not manage to even to be shortlisted. So therefore, Dr. Masanga, in terms of technicality, in terms of how the case the case appears itself, because as it is right now, the case has been interfered with. We have biasness in that regard. So therefore, it will be very detrimental for Kenya to insist on continuing on this particular path. And therefore, there's need for us to pull back and to be able to re-strategize and to be able to look at the contentious matters that might affect the outcome that thereof might come out of the ICJ. But as I said yesterday, there's no hope in the ICJ because ICJ has given judgments before through in aggrieved members, and no African member state, no European member state has ever followed whatever verdict that has been given by the ICJ. So therefore, it remains a toothless dog, and there's nothing it will give in terms of direction in this particular matter. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. It is very, very obvious that the case was messed up. The case was done through corruption. Some super countries bought the judges, bought the presiding judge. The case was stage managed. It is impossible for a country to go to a fishing expedition in a case already managed by international agencies. We have these international agencies. Let me come to Musa. And Musa, I want you to hit point by point, not to just do the necessary. This case, from 2009, there was a memorandum of understanding. We had that memorandum of understanding. The successive governments honored that memorandum. We came to a gentleman called Farimajo, Mohammed Farimajo, a brother or a cousin to Abdalakwi Yusuf Ahmed, the presiding judge. They come from the same clan. In fact, Abdalakwi's father is an advisor to Mohammed Farimajo. That man abrogated everything and decided that they start a war. They go in 2009 with Angola, and the foreign minister of then of Somalia signed an agreement. That agreement is still there. Somalia abrogated each and everything on the pressure of the external wing. Do you think Kenya has been treated fairly?
Thank you so much, Dr. for having me on the show. I'm really grateful for the chance. Directly heading to the point, Dr. I believe, as far as this case is concerned, I think Somalia is punching above its weight. Somalia is being overambitious in this agenda of bringing the maritime dispute as far as Kenya and Somalia is concerned, Dr. Why? Because as far as we remember, we are neighbors. We share a lot of relations. We share nationhood of the Somali community living in Kenya, and some of them living in Somalia, Dr. Kenya, since Ethiopia has been struggling for the past 3 years to come from the rubbles of stability from Al-Shabaab group, Kenya have been at the forefront trying to help this country to stabilize as far as, economic and, socio-political issues are concerned. I think the Somali government should be reminded that not by the circumstance of who we are, by the virtue and the sovereignty of Kenya being recognized as an international and an important member to peace and stability in Horn of Africa. That is the reason why we are hosting the largest humanitarian and refugee camp in Africa, Dr. We are having Kakuma, we are having Dadaab, we are hosting more than 500,000 people coming voluntarily seeking political and humanitarian asylum, Dr. from Somalia. And the reason why Somalia is punching above its weight, Dr. Why is it that Somalia decided to focus on this maritime issue now? Is it because that the relations Somalia is having with Turkey, the relations Somalia is having with Qatar, the relations Somalia is having with United Arab Emirates? Are these people in the name of Gulf Council trying to have some sense of geopolitical influence against Kenya? The answer is very correct, Dr. You remember very well, Tayyip Erdogan the other day has a plan of advancing military capabilities by launching the first naval base in Africa at the Red Sea. And this has been really pushed by Somalia as far as their relations is concerned. We go onwards to what is happening in Qatar, Dr. and what is happening in United Arab Emirates. I'm not seeing Somalia being genuine as far as engaging Kenya in these issues of maritime dispute is concerned. Why do you need to have Turkey? Why do you need to have France? Why do you need to have Norway as far as this is concerned? And I will tell that Somalia is punching above its weight because here Kenya has won the bid to be a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. Uhuru Kenyatta has been appointed the chairperson of the African Union Security Council, and at the same time, he is now the incoming chairperson for East African Community. The question poses, Somalia has applied for an intention to be a member of East African Community. Then, if indeed the chairperson is our president, and we really want to have a good relation, why take the case to ICJ and not even taking to African Court of Justice? This really shows that there is an invincible hand in this, Dr. An invincible hand which I show that Musa, there is some sense of geopolitical, masculinity, trying to flex their influence between the West and the East. And Somalia should be reminded, as far as the war on terror and counterterrorism is concerned in Horn of Africa, Kenya is at the forefront as far as this war is concerned. The other day, President Joe Biden called President Uhuru Kenyatta, assuring him of stronger relations and strengthening of this counterterrorism war. So why am I saying that Somalia is punching above its weight? On 6th of March this month, Dr. A bomb detonated in Mogadishu, killing 20 people and injuring another 30. You remember last month also the same issue coming up. I'm trying to purge for the issue of Al-Shabaab. The Kenyan troop in Somalia withdrawal policy have been slated for December 2021, and the flagship of AMISOM, Kenya, is going to withdraw. The question we are going to ask ourselves as a country, are we going to be at peace if indeed Al-Shabaab is taking key influence day in, day out, being minded that United Nations has ordered Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda to withdraw their forces by December 2021? The answer is no. Why do Somalia have to focus on something which is far away in their deep waters of maritime and focus and not focusing on the relations they're having with Kenya? The other day, President Uhuru Kenyatta had enough, Daktari, and decided that the only way he can do this is to have a better relation.
Let me ask you one question.
Yes, Daktari?
Let me ask you one question, Musa. In your opinion, what do you think, Kenya? You have made very cardinal points, very good points. What is, in your opinion, do you think, knowing all this history, this background, do you think Kenya should go itself to swim in waters when their hands are tied and the wind is against them? The answer I want is yes or no. And unmute your video.
Yes, Daktari, the answer is yes, and I think Kenya should go full hand. We should stop tying our hands in this. Remember the other day, President Joe Biden...
Should they go to the Hague? Should they go to the Hague or not? Should they take part? Because this is not a criminal court. This is a court of possession. This is a court by the regulations of ICJ, of international law. It is a court of compromise. You go there when you have agreed. A willing person, all parties must be willing. Kenya was not willing to be dragged into this court. We lost the first bargain, but it is not too late to tell the judges that we are not here and we are not going to discuss. That's the brief that I would like to hear our lawyers who have been hired from London say. If we go in it and the ruling is made, you will not reverse this ruling. There is no high court, a Supreme Court anywhere. That is the end. That's the end. Okay. Do we go
I think, Daktari,
yes.
I think, Daktari, as far as this case is concerned, we've not done any sense of conflict. Kenya has not been so aggressive as far as engaging the neighbor is concerned. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta took the case to IGAD, which IGAD pushed back and said Kenya has nothing to do with Somalian issue here. Remember the election issue, Somalia complained to Kenya that the Kenyan government is interfering in Jubaland. This has been happening, Daktari. And I believe is a good partner to these Western countries. We've been really at the forefront as far as achieving of sustainable development goals, the war on terror, the war on poverty, the achievement of, the Agua development goals is concerned. We are at par with the global north. Kenya should not be afraid to go to court. I know we have been dragged in this. We've been dragged in this. We've not been prepared because Kenya has been really
So the question I'm asking, Musa,
yes,
you are hitting very good points. Should we go or not go?
I think, Daktari, the answer is very simple. We should go. The reason why we should go, Daktari, is that number one.
Let me listen. Hold it there, the point. I will come back to you. Let me get Tina Wambui. Do you have anything to say before ladies first? She has been here for some time. Or you want to be a listening post? Christine Wambui?
Yes.
Do you have something to say? Should Kenya go to the International Court of Justice? Yes or no?
I'm gonna listen in first. Then I'm gonna give my opinion later.
Okay, thank you. Let me come to Gerard, Ambassador, Your Excellency Ambassador Ghana Maina. The question is, 2009, we had an agreement, Gucci. And we agreed that, please, if about this island, this water blocks, we are together, we are friends, and this agreement still stands. But Kenya found itself somehow outboxed by maneuvers of some elements, darker forces, both external and internal. It ended up in court. Does it go or not? That's the basis of our discussion today. Don't prolong it beyond that. Yes.
Thank you, Daktari. The situation of this maritime conflict between Kenya and Somalia is well known around Africa. We are always aware. And we know the size is almost 100 square kilometers inside the sea. And every real African knows the biggest side of these places belong to Kenya. We all know that. That no doubt. Let us be honest, because we are African. We are not Westerners or whatever. The biggest part of this maritime space belongs to Kenya. It's not to Somalia. But you know, sometimes when you are with someone who want to fight, you know, there will be always issues. I remember in 2009, the both countries agreed that UN in charge of maritime conflict supposed to work on it and to settle it amicably. I don't know, you are aware, Dr. Matsanga, in 2009. But by 2016, where Somalia decided, you know, to take Kenya on ICJ, International Court of Justice, where I will never agree we go there, because we need also to put our strength to settle this matter as African. Why do we need ICJ to fix it? This is the first point. I am, as a diplomat who understands politics, we don't need always to take our food to put on the plate to anybody to interfere with. If we are 54 nations, we cannot solve this problem. Why do we need to go ICJ, Dr. Matsanga? It's not making any sense, because we are able to settle it. We know that more than 70% of this space maritime belong to Kenya. That's 100%. That 100% we know and we believe. Why going to ICJ? We don't want now, we are not in the era of wasting our time, our energy as Africa now. We are in the era to build a new Africa. So we don't want to be disturbed with the things that we are going to court. And you know that if this matter has been settled in ICJ and it has not gone against Kenya, you will never get it back. You know it's going to be complicated. There is no another court bigger than this one. Dr. Matsanga, you know. As Ambassador Maina, I will never advise Kenya for now to go. We can settle it in Africa here. We can find a way to put some dignity and to put everybody down to settle it. We need to take our power back now to tell the Western that this is the decision we are taking for our continent. We don't want to go to ICJ. We don't even need it, because this issue is really clear. For me, I am not from the East, I'm from the West Coast, but I know that 100% the right go to Kenya, Dr. Matsanga. So for me, if you ask me this question, do we go to court? I say no.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Categorically.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ambassador Maina. You said no, there is no need. Okay.
No need.
Yeah. I think you have given very good valid reasons. We have 54 countries. We got independence. We should be working out a modality as Africans to find out amicable ways of constitutive African Union to bring the continent together, resolve these matters instead of wasting all the money. You know how much money the delegations are paying to stay in the Hague Hotel? A lot of money. All this delegation from Kenya, the lawyers, it's huge money. It's a lot of money. Why should we go all the way to sort a problem which is going to bring us more problems? That is my position. That's my position, and thank you very much. Stay on the line, Ambassador Ghana Maina from Paris. Let me get Gerard Gucci. Yes. Do we go or we don't go?
I think we should not go to the ICJ for one reason. What Kenya and Somalia actually requires is a regional integration policy whereby we can actually come together and try to find a solution to the dispute that is actually happening. So in my personal opinion, I think that we are not supposed to be there in the first place. And when I read from the release that was released by the ICJ court, they mentioned that the case will be taking place at a hall called Peace Palace. And I don't think there is a peace that will be happening there. What they're supposed to do is actually to make sure that the both parties which is now Kenya and Uganda, have also agreed on the timeline of the case, because Kenya actually said they were not ready, and they didn't have some of the evidence that they wanted to present before the court. But now the government of Somalia, being headed by a very level-headed man, Farmajo, decided maybe to overlook some of the issues that were being raised by their big brother, which is Kenya. So in my own personal view, I think this is the wrong time maybe to go to the ICJ. They're supposed to have a table talk, Kenya and Somalia, and discuss those issues in a way that, in an amicable way, that are not going to bring some tensions between us and Somalians. We know that Kenya is a very peaceful country, and we have a lot of Somalians who are residing here in Kenya, and we live like brothers. So even when you have an issue that we need to discuss, we really need to sober up and come to the table and agree first before we go to the ICJ. Another thing I would like to advise the government of Somalia, they should not cling on the help of the ICJ partners and also the foreign parties that are actually involved in this case. Because we know the countries like Qatar, Turkey, and also United States, all these countries are actually siding with Somalia because they know Somalia is the weaker link, and they want to take control of the oil, gas, and also the shipping lines that are actually in that disputed region. So I feel they are actually jumping the cart, and they should actually sober up before they proceed with the case.
Okay. Thank you very much. Cardinal point. Very important point you have raised. The gas, the oil, the hot springs, the oil blocks, the West, the darker forces. Thank you very much. Let me bring in, those are points they should not go. The case was fixed before. Those are, we want everybody to take his opinion. Ambassador Maina says, no, why should we go there when we could solve these problems as Africans here? Somalia should think of withdrawing the case and bringing it back to AU. Douglas Bundi Kirimi, you are one of those that we want to hear your views. From Meru in Kenya, in Mount Kenya, Douglas Kirimi. Douglas Kirimi.
Yes, Dr. Masanga.
Yes,
my opinion is, thank you, Dr. Masanga, for having me on the show. In my opinion, Kenya should not go to ICJ because at ICJ we have already lost our case. In the first instance, there is a Somali judge who sat at the bench since he was the chief judge since 2018, and he was never in favor of Kenya, and every injunction that has been put on this case has been put when he is in charge as a Somali national. Number two, Kenya has already lost this thing because Somalia has already floated and also sold our oil blocks in Indian Ocean. Why would we debate when we have lost already? I have said before that no one would want to go to a case where they have already lost. In the negotiation or even in the court at the International Court of Justice, we are not going to get justice. Kenya should be able to find our own solution, like Ambassador His Excellency, Ambassador Maina Ghana said. We need to find a solution to the maritime issue between Somalia and Kenya. Today, as a country, we cannot be able to extend any kind of goodness or any kind of support to the International Court of Justice because we have already lost at the same court. We cannot be guaranteed justice as the people of Kenya, and as a country, we have no interest in pursuing justice at the International Court of Justice because we have already lost. Nobody starts a journey where he is already tired. You have to start a journey where you are prepared, where you know you are going to arrive there. We are not going to get any justice there, and we should not give imperialists a chance to determine the future of the maritime dispute between Kenya and Somalia or even any other country, including our border country, Tanzania. If we have an issue with them, we cannot be able to give these imperialists, the world-greedy Western allies, we cannot give them a chance to be able to determine our destiny as a country.
If we have already lost 2 times, it means by the scenes we have also other 5 counts we can be able to lose with. We cannot lose again as a country, and we need to be able to come out with the solutions that better the people of Somalia and better the people of Kenya. At this time, as a country, we are wounded on this case. The first instance is that we have already lost the well blocks to Somalia, who have sold these well blocks and floated them in London. And again, the people, Norway, Turkey, Qatari, and others who want to continue undermining the role of Kenya and also our sovereignty by auctioning, helping Somalia, the Farmajo-led administration to auction our well blocks in Indian Ocean. They want to continue undermining us as the people of Kenya and undermining our role as a country and also as a people. Dr. Masanga, my opinion is we should not go to ICJ. We should find a local solution, a regional solution to the dispute, the maritime dispute in Indian Ocean. Because at ICJ, we have already lost as a country and we cannot be able to continue losing every time. This is an embarrassment to our nation and our sovereignty as a people, and we cannot be able to accept that. Our president cannot be able to accept that. The people of Kenya cannot accept that. Anything that pits the people of Kenya against the people of Somalia will lead to war. And this kind of early signs of defeat does not shine well and or also augur well with the people of Kenya. We cannot be able to accept the defeat when they have already sold our own well blocks in our sovereign state and within our borders. Thank you, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. You've raised serious points on the question of the case having been lost. Then you want to go in it. The case have been skewed. It's like the Ocampo case. Remember, in the ICC, Ocampo came to get evidence, convicted people before getting evidence. Then later on, Ocampo came back to look for evidence. I found him looking for evidence, and I said, my friend, no way. You took these people, you said you had certificates, including death certificates. Over 1,600 people, 300 people who died in Kenya. Ocampo did not have a single certificate, a post-mortem certificate. There are 3 certificates in the world. One, the death certificate, birth certificate, and a marriage certificate. I think you know that. Some of you who are about to marry, like the faces I see here. If you don't have a birth certificate, the last certificate, your body cannot be buried. So Ocampo took people, then he came to investigate. I went in the court and I said, no, you cannot take people, then he come to investigate. You are now buying witnesses. And I created, coined the word called prochua. People called me prochuaman, Mr. Prochua. I'm prochuring witnesses when you have already taken suspects. It is not right. This case looks like more or less smelly because we lost in the first place. But let's come back. I don't know whether Tina Wambui is ready to say something now. If I move to the next question, as our time is running out. Tina Wambui, do you have anything to say from Nairobi? Tina Wambui? Okay. She will come online. Let me now bring in the question of circumstances. Way forward. Way forward. We have said we don't want to go. What alternative do we want? I will begin with Ambassador Maina. Ambassador Maina.
Yeah, Daktari.
From Paris. What alternative? Daktari. If we don't go, what alternative? Where do we go next? How do we resolve this problem? Will there be no war? Don't you think there will be a war in Indian Ocean? If the judges make ruling in favor of one of the countries, they will be ambassador experience worldwide.
always diplomacy has prevailed in this world. Only Kenya, so that Dr. Matsanga. You know, Ivory Coast in Ghana also, they have in another side of the way similar case, but there is no tension. They are trying to resolve on an amicable way to make sure that the country live in peace. Today, either we like it or not, Somalia and Kenya, they become one family. So going to the conflict and just say that this country is right or this is wrong is a big deal for us African. I've always said that I don't agree to go to ICJ first. And number two, the second solution, we need to make sure that we can appoint biggest figures in Africa who can bring the two countries together to resolve it amicably and to take it either in African Union or to any international body, African, to make sure that we bring the countries and things go in the smooth way. Because tension has never resolved any problem. But if it go to ICJ and the ICJ, you know, resolve the case in favor of one country, we know that they will never have peace because this will bring another tension, either in the Kenya or in Somalia. But as we all know, Somalia and Kenya right now is one family. So we don't want to go to this level. We have another alternative way to fix it. We can appoint many international leaders we have in Africa here to make sure that they take the matter between them, resolve it, and do a memo sent to ICJ, say that we have solved this problem in our own way, Africa, we didn't need you for now. Those are not the thing we need to take to ICJ, Dr. Matsanga. I surrender. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Maina. That is his position. Let me go to Sean Wesonga. Your position in summary, parting short also. Do we now, which way forward? If we don't go, where do we go next? What do we do? Will there will be there is no restorative judgment here. What do we do?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Matsanga. And I will tend to tie my opinion on a chariot of what Ambassador Maina said, that even when you look in the country, Dr. Matsanga, if a layman had a case in a court which was ongoing, and from the very on, perhaps the judge is biased and there will be no need of this particular person continue going to court where he knows there will be ultimately a miscarriage of justice. And therefore, this is where we look at an alternative mechanism to resolve this kind of dispute. As we've said before, now we need to we need to sit back as a people, because Somalia and Kenya has what to share in common. We do business together. Somalis are here in Kenya doing business. Their students are learning in our universities. Kenya has been the backbone of the stability that Somalia has so far attained. And therefore, we need to get this case out of ICJ, bring it back home, and explore other means of solving the matter amicably between Kenya and Somalia. But the obstacle as it is right now, Dr. Matsanga, is the current leadership of Somalia, which is spearheaded by profiteers and merchants of anarchy, who have been on the forefront to ensure that we do have average looting of resources, not only the oil blocks in the Indian Ocean, but also the monies and resources which are meant for the people of Somalia. So if we can get a sober leadership in Somalia, then I believe the solution to this stalemate is coming back home and solving together as neighbors.
Thank you very much. Credible leadership in Somalia, that's one of the ways. Maybe if leadership changes in Somalia, what the president there could say, remove the case from ICJ. A very good point there. For those watching security agencies, the army, the police, the government of Republic of Kenya representatives watching, these are serious suggestions. We have still brought this phase 2. Yesterday we did phase 1. And on Monday, when it begins, we shall do phase 3. Tomorrow we shall be doing South Sudan. And Maina, don't miss on this. The gentleman who was kidnapped from Kenya has resurrected in the United States of America, Congress and the United Nations. My God, is spilling beans. You can't believe it. So it is a good story tomorrow in the evening with Songa, and the rest of you don't miss this one. It's very interesting. The guy, we shall play his video. We shall play everything he said, how he was kidnapped and who facilitated his kidnap. So these are some of the things that are going on, how Salva Kiir tortured him, all these things. Mahina, I think you have seen that story. It is very, very, very depressing. He was one of the very good activists of talking the way we talk, but he was taken out very badly because of dollar money. And the man has resurrected in America. My God, what is happening in America with this guy? You can't believe it. I think most of you have heard the video. But let me come to Musa. Musa from Isiolo, the airport. The airport in the airport in the jungle. The airport in the jungle. Can you take us off? And
making my submission, Daktari, and it is very simple. On 8th of February this year, the International Criminal Court, Daktari, has elected the person who is going to succeed the Yusuf from Somalia. She goes by the name Joanne Donog, who has already taken over. It's just the process of, finalizing. She's an American. She's a judge who has been in ICJ for over 15 years, and she's now the new president for International Court of Justice, Daktari. And I believe now we don't have anything to worry about this. If indeed Uhuru Kenyatta is going to take us and he says, let's go to ICJ, I'm not going to be afraid, Daktari, because whatever that judge from Somalia has done, he has decided to take opportunity instead of using the position to focus on crimes against humanity, Al-Shabaab and ISIS and Al-Qaeda has done in the region. He has decided to forsake his neighbor. So I believe with the leadership of Judge Donog, who is now the new president for International Court of Justice, we have a long way to go. And a positive way, I believe, because I know our relations with Democrats presidents, as far as Obama, Bill Clinton, and even the current Biden is concerned, we are good. We are regional hegemon as far as diplomacy and issues of counterterrorism is concerned.
I don't know whether I can say we are good, Musa, but I don't think we are good yet. No. You remember Americans, the current American regime is a regime changer. They change government. Please, don't tell me I know it. You study international relations, you are there. I am now telling you authoritatively. This one, which has come in, changes government, pays money, dollar, to change government. They don't bring troops. Trump can order troops. It's better to deal with Trump with troops. But this one of Joe Biden.
Dr. Masanga.
Yes. It is better. So, look, I don't see anywhere where they are going to help us. Even one of the worst things that annoys me is to bring an American who does not want. Can you go and say there is 1 meter of American oil? Where can you do it? Which court? Look at the way they are torturing Karim Khan. Have you seen the way they have tortured Karim Khan? Because they are saying they don't want Karim Khan to be the chief prosecutor. Because the ICC has said it wants to charge Israel over crimes over Pakistan. Or Palestine. How will he do it? So, Musa, finish up your point, but let me correct you. This is a government that overthrows government. I want you to know. And you will see so many African governments overthrown. This year, you will see very many. At least 3 to 4 will fall. I'm telling you, you watch your space. Already in Senegal, it is about to fall. Yes, they will fall. They will bring a government down This is not an administration. I'd rather die with Trump. He threatens you, but he's like that. But this one will come with the NGO. Have you seen the way they have given Martha Karua money now? Under the group. They have given them money. Linda Katiba to oppose Uhuru Kenyatta. Who is paying Linda Katiba? George Soros. Who is George Soros? He is part of George Soros is part of CIA syndicate. Why haven't you asked why George Soros has never been arrested? He lives near New York, near the tower with the, if you have been to New York, George Soros Tower, you stand on it, you see Trump Tower, and then you see the UN the other side. Why hasn't he been arrested? Why? Because he works for those people. And then you will see very many countries are in shame. You have seen what is in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has called for a demonstration. People's government. Everywhere there is a people government. Uganda across has called for people government. Bwana, where you are saying this is a good administration. This is the worst administration. I wanted the 4 years to get finished quickly because more countries are going to have upheaval in Africa. Proceed, Musa.
So, Dr. The reason why I said Judge Joan Donald is at least we are going to have, I know they are evil, I know their role in Iraq, I know their role in Yemen, I know their role in Afghanistan, I know their role, whatever they are doing in South China Sea Island in the name of Taiwan against China. I know Democrats are evil as far as intervention war. I know what they did in the name of NATO in Libya. We recall, these are people who believe that in dropping bombs and, drones, they can win it. But the reason why I said, the judge is going to be deputized by a Russian counterpart, at least Yusuf is going to be out. At least Kenya is going to have a breathing space.
No. Yusuf, maybe you don't know the history. Yusuf, I threw him out. He had to go out of shame because I had put documents, even in video tapes, when he tried to do some things in Belgium. I followed it in Brussels and I got him. So there is nothing that Yusuf could do, but he had to leave. And that is it. But he left. One point, Musa, you should not forget, whenever panel you go to, one point is that he left when he had fixed the case.
Yeah. So, Dr. after that, I know by the virtue of him representing Somalia and being the judge there, he was really misused by Qatar, used by United Arab Emirates, and a lot of geopolitical influence brought on the table. But as far as I believe, Somalia can do more than this. Somalia can believe that they should renegotiate and come with regional dispute resolution. IGAD is here. African Union is here. We believe as good neighbors we can prosper, Dr. We've really been helping one another. I know there are many Kenyans who are working in Somalia part-time, full-time. I understand also the vacuum Kenyan leadership and Kenyan economy has really filled as far as ensuring that stability under AMISOM flagship, stability under IGAD, stability under all these auspices of we are having the Dadaab refugee camp and Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya hosting these people is concerned. So we can be good neighbors. Maritime should not be something which should divide us. And I will tell Farmajo, he should know that Kenya is going to be the neighbor for Somalia forever. Qatar is not going to help him. Yemen, Saudi Arabia is not going to help him. United Arab Emirates, they are not going to help him. So I believe the better way forward is that after they have had the election, maybe I believe the new leadership which shall be installed into place will have a good, favorable conditions to have with Kenya, Dr. I submit.
Thank you very much, Musa. You made your point. Let me come to Mr. Gerald Guchu. You made your point very clear. You hope you still a pessimist. Is it? Can I call you a man who believes that something will come out of a stone, Musa? Can I call it that way? Musa is gone. Musa, thank you very much. Musa has said, maybe, Musa, do you still believe something will come out of this?
Yes, Dr. I believe.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted, because your opinion is very outstanding and shining, showing Russia versus America, Russia deputizing America, they can make it. What rule can be there other than negotiation? But we wait and see. Gucci.
Yes, sir.
Take us away.
My advice is basically to the president of Somalia. One thing he needs to understand is the diplomatic ties between Kenya and Somalia is starting to weaken. And with that weakening, it will come with very dire consequences. Considering that we are neighbors, we've been living harmoniously even before this case was brought. So I think it's time for the Somalia government to understand that there is no organization that is mandated to give anybody else land. And Kenya is not going to bow to the decision that is going to be made by the ICJ. So their experts need to sit down and look for availability of other paths other than maybe going the ICJ route. So I think it's time now the government of Kenya develops a caucus of experts like Dr. Masanga, who can come together and maybe give very critical advice on the way forward on how to handle this case. Because when you look at the case of Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, because they're also having a dispute over 3 islands, the both parties decided that whatever the outcome ICJ is going to give, it's not going to bind those 2 parties. So I also think this same logic should actually employ here when it comes to the case of Kenya and Somalia in the ICJ, because already the court has been proved to be already biased against towards the Somali people. So Kenya is not going to allow to lose even a single soil, or rather a portion of the ocean, in the name of the foreign powers that are at play, coming together to join forces with the Somalia to deny Kenya its right to use its shipping lines and also the oil and the gases that are actually in that disputed zone. Thank you very much, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. You made a very valid point there. Let's come to Douglas Bundi. Kirimi, summarize it for us.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga. One thing we need to do is to engage the leadership in Somalia, and that can only happen when the man that was supposed to have held elections on 8th of February 2021, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, the nephew of Siad Barre, goes home and his entire cabinet, including the sympathizers of Al-Shabaab that keep practicing and also being government officials and staying in power, and the people who support Al-Shabaab who stay at Vira, Somalia, advising Mohamed Farmajo, should be removed from power before we engage these people. Taking the route of ICJ, International Court of Justice, is not the solution to our issue. The issue is people who are greedy like Farmajo and his advisors and his administration have floated and already sold our oil blocks in Indian Ocean. Suing us at the International Court of Justice is not the solution. The issue is we have already lost our well blocks to Norway and Qatar and Turkey. And these very partisan countries continue supporting Somalia in terms of military support. In the case of Turkey, in case Kenya grows some horns and wings and retaliates, they would be able to fight us as they continue selling our oil blocks in the disputed area. One thing we need to be able to do is to engage the people of Somalia like we have done before, because the people of Somalia are part and integral part of our lives. Remember, a big chunk of Somali businessmen come to our country, and also their students come for exchange programs and also education in our country. If we engage the people of Somalia candidly and have this conversation over this disputed area, we can be able to allow ourselves the grace to share the resources that come from Indian Ocean. These are gifts from God. Nobody created between Kenya and the Somali. Nobody created these resources. It is a gift of God, and we can be able to share with our neighbors, but we cannot be able to share with them when This Falmajo and his administration have already threatened and sold our oil blocks in Indian Ocean when these partisan countries, led by Turkey, Norway, and Qatari, continue undermining the role of Kenya and its sovereignty and also its powers to administer how they should be able to their own resources and also how they should be able to drill and also find their oil, because when Norway their major oil exploration companies were kicked out of Kenya, they have now this beef with this country and they want to keep supporting Somalia, and the greedy leaders who continue allowing themselves to be used by the resource greedy Western allies who don't care about the stability of the region and our common ambition. Remember, even in CBD, most of these business people and the hotels and restaurants that we find are people from Somalia. It means that our common ambitions as a people are going to be affected because of this leadership that we have in Somalia. Another perspective is that we need to be able, between the two countries, we need to be able to have a non-partisan parties or a court that can be able to hear this case. We can form a special tribunal on the dispute on the maritime dispute in Indian Ocean without necessarily going all the way to International Court of Justice. Why would the Somalia rush there after they have sued us, after their judge has issued injunctions against the people of Kenya, refused to have the people of Kenya defer, or the government of Kenya defer these cases? They have now continued selling these oil blocks. Why are they doing such acts of contempt against the people of Kenya, our flag and our soil? As a country, we need to be able to now engage the people of Somalia in another level of diplomacy, have a special tribunal on the maritime dispute in Indian Ocean without necessarily running where they have an advantage already. We cannot go to the International Court of Justice when we have already lost. No president, no minister, no advisor, no fellow countryman can allow the country to go the route of International Court of Justice, no matter how good our case is, no matter how strong our case is defeated by 2%. 1% on the issue of selling our oil blocks, which is actually a major concern. Another going concern is that the judge, Mr. Yusuf Abdullah Zuak, I think, continue sitting at the bench. Yes, at the International Criminal Court, International Court of Justice, and this is a clear case of conflict of interest and also bias. We cannot continue that way. We need to have a special tribunal on the maritime dispute in Indian Ocean. And secondly, we need to engage the leaders of Somalia and the leadership in Nairobi. Mogadishu and Nairobi need to engage, especially on the issue of the oil blocks in Indian Ocean. Prior to that, we will be able to suffer consequences, irredeemable consequences, based on the ignorance, based on selfishness of leaders in Mogadishu, led by Mohamed Falmajo, who continues sitting in office illegally. From either February, this man continues sitting under an illegal mandate without legitimacy, without the people of Somalia giving him another mandate to lead them. The people of Somalia, the opposition in Somalia, the civil society in Somalia, and people of goodwill across the world continue suffering under the hands of Mohamed Farmajo administration, which sits on an illegal mandate. A man that sits on an illegal mandate wants to continue hacking this country and taking us for fools and playing games with the people of Kenya, whereas they have already sold our oil blocks in Indian Ocean, Dr. Masanga. One thing we need to do, two things we need to do: engage the local leadership there minus Farmajo, and also have a special tribunal on the maritime dispute in Indian Ocean, which, when it is not done, anything else can happen, which is war. And that is what Turkey, Norway, and Qatari wants to do. That is what they are funding today. They have funded over 1,000 pilots to go and get trained in Turkey so that they can be deployed ready to fight Kenya. Why do they want to fight Kenya over God-given? These resources were not created by Somalis. These resources were not created by the people of Kenya. What we have a conflict on, we can be able to talk as brothers and sisters, because the boundaries that the colonial masters who sat in the Bahrain conference, they have created boundaries between the people of Somalia. We are all one people. We are all one Africa. We can be able to have a conversation. We can be able to talk with our brothers and sisters. The boundaries that have been put by colonialists should not be able, by the imperialists and colonialists, should not be the dividing factor against the people of Kenya. And for the people like Mohamed Farmajo in Somalia, undermining the role and sovereignty of Kenya as a country by selling our oil blocks in Indian Ocean. We are coming for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in the world watching this show. We return again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Same panel, more people. We shall be talking about South Sudan. It's the peace holding. We return again on Monday. After that, on Monday, we shall have the final phase number 3 of Somalia, Kenya Maritime dispute in Indian Ocean. When the case starts, we see the arguments during the time, and then we do the summary at night. Thank you very much. You have all raised all points. I don't know whether Tina Wambui, whether you have managed to pick a few points about this case that Kenya has taken itself while its hands are tied in a swimming pool. Do you have any slight comment? We take it now before I close the show. Tina?
Hey, Mr. Masanga, Dr. Masanga.
Yes.
Yes, I've picked a few points.
Yes.
And allow me to discuss this more further on the phase 3 of this composition.
Yes.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. All of you, thank you very much. This was a show, Diplomatic Leaks, one of the flagships of Punchline Africa Television. We broadcast quite a lot, more often, everywhere. We start every day. If we are not online, you just go into our website, bring more of these topics. We have done 7 of these, and you will not, what we have predicted from time to time has come to pass. I want to thank the panel, Ambassador Maina, Shoni Wesonga, Gochu Gerard, Douglas Kireme, and Musa Haji Dogra Dado, all the way from Isiolo. This is Punchline Africa Television, the television for Africa, with Africa by Africa charm.